Hi, this is Zach here with the US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 19th of August. Starting off with the S&P, which is still within that rising trend channel from back in April. We also managed to so far shrug off the negative RSI divergence, so higher highs for August, but much lower RSI trace. That if we can snap that and actually break recent resistance through 6480, that would be a bullish signal in its own right. Doesn't often happen that such bearish divergence is blown away. In terms of the upside, top of the channel, they're heading rapidly towards 6,700, which I suppose at this point would be the target for next month. On the downside, the floor of the channel there, 63.50. Worst case at the moment is we need to test the 50-day line there at 62.38 and been below that 50-day line since basically the end of April, which is quite an achievement, especially with the market finding support well above a rising 50-day line, another leading indicator. The Nasdaq is next, and here we've got a situation where slightly disappointing in the sense that we haven't been able to clear 24,000. Above that, we're looking above that rising trend channel from April. We were and are looking for the upper parallel of that rising trend channel up to 25,500. I suppose that is a target for the end of next month. On the downside, we've got a combination of the 50-day line and a May support line there at 22,800 as potential support with this market, and about the worst that we think any rug pull will take this market down to. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with we've got a few repeats here, stocks that have actually delivered on the upside. The first one of those is ALX Oncology. Obviously, we broke the major neckline resistance there around 65 cents, and we've hit our target there around 97 cents. A clearance of the 97 cents area, so now the day close probably through $1. We could be up to as high as $1.30 by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of resistance on the way down into the 80 to 90 cents zone. What's interesting here is that we've had multiple bounces, multiple RSI 50 bounces and RSI 50 plus bounces so far this month. So it looks as though there is a lot of momentum there, and that's one of the ways of telling whether a stock will spike and then retreat or spike and then keep on going. Moving along to Burning Rock, and here we've had a decent breakout through the old July resistance there around the $9.60 area. Above that on the end of day close, looking for a progress within a steep rising trend channel from the beginning of April. That's heading for $16, and we're looking for that by the end of next month. We're also assuming that the shares will not go any lower than the $8 area, basically the low of yesterday's range and also at the initial August resistance. Stock which is new to us is DIH, and here we've got the shares in a potentially rising trend channel base, rising 50-day line and gapping through, gapping up to recent resistance around the 30 cents mark. The longer we can stay above 25 cents and the 50-day moving average, the greater the chance of move to 55 cents by the end of next month. Early days on that, probably want to see more action on the right side of 30 cents, but it looks as though with the gap there and the bear trap gap reversal, so lower on Friday and then gapping up yesterday, looks as though we are on our way. The next situation is Dayforce, and here we're looking for a situation where the stock has managed to gap through the 200-day line after it was a bear trap gap reversal again. Above the 200-day line there at 63 cents, $63 rather, we're looking for a move up to as high as $77 at the top of that rising trend channel from February. And looking for that hopefully by the end of this month at the current rate of progress. But the key here, staying on the right side of recent broken $61 resistance. That is a must for this situation. Foremost is next, and here we've got a triangle formation, which looks like a continuation pattern on the upside. We managed to close above the 50-day line as well yesterday. Immediate resistance here towards the $393.90 area, and hoping for that hopefully by the end of this month. The downside is that, or would be that we would have to test the uptrend line there from May around $2.65, but hopefully this is on its way. The other point to note, I suppose, is that if you are cautious, wait for an end of day close through that May resistance line there around $3.20 before assuming $4 is on its way. DDRX is next, otherwise known as GoodRx Holdings, and here we've had bear trap high and reversal, so gapping down then gapping up, heading towards the top of that broadening triangle. I suppose it's a little bit higher than I've drawn, so towards the $5.80 level. We're looking for that in coming days while we're above the 200-day line, $4.60. Next on the list is ImmunoPrecise, and here we've had a nice bull flag breakout, all the more strong given the way that it was. The bull flag was a result of an unfilled gap to the upside. The recent resistance around $2.40, and we're looking at the upper parallel of that rising trend channel base around $1.70 at $3, hopefully well before the end of this month, and obviously a pat on the back given the way that the shares managed to break or the initial target there over the course of last month. Nano Labs is next, and here potential falling wedge turnaround. They've got a bit of bullish divergence in the mix there as well, so slightly lower lows on Friday, but looking for a breakout through the June resistance line there at $5.30, and above that, best case scenario by the end of next month through $10. So great expectations there. You're cautious, you might wait for an end of day close either through that resistance line or combine it with the RSI pushing through the neutral 50 level as well. But so far it looks encouraging. A return for the following stock, which is ReShape, and couldn't resist this one really. Here we've got just broadening triangle base, top of the triangle there, $21, which is what we're looking for by the end of this month, and we're looking for that while we're above the Friday close area around $13, above 13, looking for $21 there. Probably the best of the selection today is the following one, Soligenix, and here we've hit the initial target there around $4.60 for the second time. Above that, looking for the upper parallel of the triangle there, up to $7 by the end of this month. So above around the $4.50 area, looking for $7 on that stock. Another appearance for Xunlei, and here blowing the doors off in terms of the initial target here at the $8 level, which was the top of that rising trend channel from January. Above $8, looking for a fresh target there towards $11.50. Maybe by the end of this month, while we hold above that $8 level, but maybe after 3 days to the upside and 3 unfilled gaps, maybe shares a little bit tired, but let's see how we do. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.